Bellina Show, lunchtime, noon till 1, Monday through Friday. Lunchtime is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. It is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, and we're joined now. It is a treat. Don't visit often. When I do, it's pretty awesome. Joined now by A&M men's tennis coach Steve Denton. He's a Hall of Famer, winningest coach in program history. He's been around a while, is kind of the point. He wins a lot, too. How you doing, Coach? Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Louie. How are you?
Doing most awesome. I'm a spring sport guy. I'm one of those, I love looking up every day and like getting the email or just looking at my timeline and this program beat this team and this program's ranked X and Y. And I just love it when all the Aggie sports are playing, man. It's my funnest time of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of great action right now with all of our sports. We have not only, obviously, we've got a great football team and other fall sports, but we have some tremendous spring sports to keep our fans happy throughout the spring season when the weather gets great.
Well, your tennis team falls into that category. I mean, what are you, 11 like in the country, and you're in this stretch? I got to know, how do tennis schedules get made? Did you like anger the tennis gods where you're in this 3-week stretch where you're playing nothing but top 25 and top 10 teams?
Right. I mean, well, part of it you do with your non-conference, you schedule yourself, and then the SEC schedules the rest. And so it just happened to, kind of fall on us. Last Friday, we played Texas and Austin, who had won the national indoors, and they were 3 in the country and had a great opportunity there. We were 1 point away from winning the match in 2 different positions and didn't quite get it done. Then we played for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Then we got to run over to Baton Rouge and play the number 6 team in the country, the Tigers, who had beaten Texas the week before. And we have a 4-hour battle with them. And we're down and out late in the third set. And Colo Monsi's match at number 3 singles, down 4-1 in the third set. And he comes back and wins 5 games in a row to win the match for us, to give us that victory. And then the schedule, like you said, is pretty tough. We play Ohio State tomorrow night. Last week they were ranked number 1. They've dropped a couple spots, I think, but perennial power in tennis, and they come to the Mitchell Tennis Center on Wednesday night, and then oh, by the way, we get to play Mississippi State, who's now currently ranked 6th and one of the better teams in the country as well. So we're in the middle of that stretch right now. We've got a couple of matches at home, which are obviously great, and we're excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, finally coming home. And for those that might not have kept up, you were on the road. You mentioned Texas LSU. You were actually on the road for the past 2 weeks, and every single team you played was a ranked opponent. You started with Florida, top 25, South Carolina, top 15. You mentioned Texas, number 3, LSU, number 6. And you guys have catching fire at the right time. You've won 3 of the 4 road matchups.
Yeah, we have, and I think it's the mark of a pretty good team to be able to go on the road and win in these tough SEC environments. I think we've maybe won, with the exception of the Texas match, I think we've won all of our SEC matches on the road, and that's pretty tough to do. That hasn't happened in years past, and proud of our guys for showing some grit and playing with some toughness in some difficult environments.
Is there a key on the road? Is it a mindset? Like, we're on the road, we lock in harder because it's not familiarity with the court, if there's any quirks to it or anything, or I don't know the environment. Is it a mindset thing? Is it mental?
It is. It's absolutely mental. I mean, Louie, I think you need to be about probably 10 to 20% better than your opponent on the road.
Ooh.
And our guys have just locked in, and it comes down to a few key points in these matches. I can think of some on Friday night in Austin and also on Sunday specifically that came down to 1 or 2 points between the difference between winning and losing. And, our guys have been able to, execute there in those moments, and that's kind of why we've had a little bit of success here lately.
And also, and this is funny. I remember listening to you on Chip Show. I think before I ever had my own show, double point, doubles point, doubles point.
Yeah, that doubles point is huge, and we've had some success here lately. I think in those last 4 matches, maybe we've won the doubles point 3 of the 4 times. Of course, we're playing now 2 of the best doubles teams in the country, in Ohio State and Mississippi State, and there'll be a real challenge for us coming into this week. But we've got some good momentum, and hopefully our guys will play well.
I've been to about a handful and a half of tennis matches, and I always say that it is a phenomenal experience. I almost say unexpected how much fun and how great the tennis matches and the tennis crowds are to be a part of. I found them all tremendously fun.
Yeah, well, I think it's one of the best kept secrets in college sports, in that you're close to the action. We have a lot of really good tennis players. Case in point, I think there are probably some 20 or 25 college players now in the top 100 in the world. Several of those, 3 of those are our guys. And I think people get to see it up close. And obviously right on top of the court, you're right next to the action. And especially the doubles point is tremendously exciting. And, people get behind that and really enjoy it. And I think once they come to a tennis match and kind of, get to know who the players are, get to know it a little bit, I think they kind of fall in love with it. And maybe they don't come as often as they would at other sports, but once they do come, they really think it's a tremendous experience.
Easy to fall in love. We're visiting with A&M men's tennis coach, the Hall of Famer, winningest coach in program history. We're visiting with A&M men's tennis coach Steve Denton. He joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. This week, Aggie tennis returning home after 2 weeks out on the road. That's 2 weeks. It's kind of unheard of. And they have top 3 Ohio State tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Mitchell Tennis Center. Then Friday night, top 6, top 7, Mississippi State. Friday night at 6, Mitchell Tennis Center. That's 2 opportunities to check them out. Again, they're on fire. Out on the road, all top 25 opponents, won 3 out of 4, and now they're facing top 3, one of the top programs in Ohio State tomorrow night at 6, and then Mississippi State back to SEC play, another top 6, 7 program. That's Friday night at 6. Coach, why don't you take a moment and introduce us to your team? Who are the players to watch for tomorrow night and Friday night?
Yeah, thanks. Our number 1 player is Theo Papamalamis. He's a French player that is a sophomore this year. Playing at a really high level. Alex Fresina is a sophomore who played at Auburn last year. He's from Houston. Very good player as well. Our number 3 player was the hero on Sunday, Kolo Monsi from South Africa. Played at Oklahoma for a couple of years, is a junior, and just tremendously talented, great racket skills. And our number 4 player is Thiago Perez from France, another really good player that was one of the top juniors in the world, and he's a junior. At 5, we brought in a young freshman from Estonia, Marcus Mulder, and he's had a phenomenal first semester just getting here in January. Already left and played Davis Cup for his country, and I think he's maybe only lost 1 match this spring, and he has played at a really high level. And then number 6, our only senior in the lineup, Togan Tokash from Turkey, really hard worker, just refuses to lose kind of guy. He plays number 1 doubles with Theo Papamalamis, and they're one of the top teams in the country, very formidable on the doubles court, and he brings a lot of energy to the team. So, top to bottom, and that's what makes this team kind of exciting, Louie, is that, 1, 2, and 3 doubles plus the 6 singles players, we don't really have a hole in our lineup. And so we have a shot at every position against all the top players in the country, and that gives you a chance to win, these close matches. And it seems like this year there's tremendous parity in college tennis, and all these matches are 4-3 matches, so they're really exciting. They come right down to the wire, and it's a big battle on both sides. And so the team that obviously wins the big points, that can win the tiebreakers, or the teams that are going to come out ahead. And like you said earlier, the team that kind of is able to get that doubles point, which is a big plus.
So you're trying to attack them with depth. I mean, you have great players, but in the SEC and across the country, there's many teams that have great players. So you're taking, your team has the depth with great players, trying to win across all 7 points.
That's right, and it's the depth because of all the tough matches in the SEC, and of course we played Baylor, who is in the top 10, and we're playing Ohio State tonight. We don't back away. We play these tough teams to kind of help us get ready for the NCAA tournament later. And of course, we're hosting the SEC tournament this year.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome in mid-April. I think it's the 15th to the 18th of April. So, we've got a lot of good tennis ahead of us. We've played a lot of good teams, and it's a great opportunity for the 12th man to come out and watch our team play and compete this week against these two really great teams.
Ohio State, 6 o'clock tomorrow, top 3 team in the country. Mississippi State, Friday night at 6, and that's a top 6-7 team in the country. And again, yourself, also top 15, top 10, pretty much team in the country also. And that's 2 opportunities to catch them. And again, Aggie basketball's playing Thursday, so nobody's got any excuses, okay, if you want to play that.
Right, we got baseball, I believe, tonight, and then I believe we're the lone sport playing tomorrow night, so great opportunity to come out and watch the Aggies compete.
See, Coach, that's why you're a Hall of Famer. You planned it perfectly. You knew exactly what you were doing. Hey, that's how you set it up, right?
That's right. Well in advance.
Hey, where can people go to get more information? Because like you and I are talking, and you know how it goes 3 hours from now, after a big lunch, people's memory goes to hell. So where can people go check and find out more info and remind themselves tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I guess probably at the 12th man, they'd be able to do that. And obviously, they can reach out to the ticket office. The good thing about our matches this year is the matches are free, and so people are allowed to come out and grab whatever goodies we have on for that night. And the marketing department does a great job with that. But, more importantly, I think it's just great for the fans to get to come out. Our tennis program has more pro tennis players than any other program in the country. We have 2 guys in the top 25 or 30 in the world right now, and another one in the top 100. So 3 guys there, plus Austin Krajicek was the number 1 player in the world 2 years ago in doubles. We've got a lot of guys playing pro tennis, and these are opportunities for fans to come out and watch these guys. You don't need to go to Indian Wells, or you don't need to go to Miami this week. Incidentally, Indian Wells, our 2 doubles guys, got to the finals this last week.
Yeah.
And Arthur Rinderneck and Val Vachereau, they played in the finals on Sunday. And so you don't need to go to those tournaments. You can come out and watch the young talent that'll be there in a couple of years, and that's what's great, I think, about our program as we continue to develop young players that want to go on and play the circuit.
Coach, I don't know a single thing about tennis recruiting. Does that kind of rep help you? Does that have a factor value when they know that you put doubles players into finals and majors and other events, and you have that many in the pro? Is that something that plays when you go out on the recruiting trail?
Absolutely. I mean, all these kids have aspirations of playing at the next level, and obviously if you're having success in putting them there, you have a formula, and I think that makes a big difference in recruiting and gives them gives us a leg up on the competition, and that we're helping young guys. We're not just talking the talk. We're getting them out there, and they're playing at a high level. And the objective, for me, is for guys to go out and make money on the circuit. And we've got 4 or 5 guys now that are millionaires that have made a lot of money playing tennis. And, I think that makes a difference when it comes to talking to families and talking to young players when in the recruiting process.
That's awesome. I never know with each sport, because I know, some sports now it's how much money you're offering and nothing else matters. In other sports, it's still, where can you put me later? It's fascinating to know. Coach, best of luck this week. Best of luck this season. For everyone, look, if you're only going to go to one tennis match this season, you got Ohio State, top 3 team. I say go Wednesday, 6 o'clock, but then you can come back to and make it 2. So you don't have to only go to just one. You can go to however many you want to. This week, A&M men's tennis back home after 2 weeks out on the road. Ohio State is tomorrow night at 6, one of the top programs in the country. And then Friday night, it's back at it, SEC play, number 6, 7 in the country, Mississippi State. And don't forget, you can always go to 12thman.com and pick any of the teams, really, but you can check out the men's tennis schedule, what's upcoming, and that free on the ticket price is kind of a deal you can't beat. Coach, beat the hell out of everyone, and thank you so much for hanging out with us, man. Best of luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks, Louie, and I appreciate your support of us, and look forward to seeing a big crowd out tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Beat the hell out of Ohio State and everybody. Coach, thank you again.
Thank you, Louie.
Take care.
Have a great week.
A&M men's tennis coach Steve Denton on the D4 Land Services hotline. Again, big week for them, but it's kind of the end of this insane 3-week stretch. They've been on the road for 2 weeks, and they faced top 25, top 15, top 5, top 6. And now they're home to face, top 3, followed by a top 10. Beat the hell out of everyone for A&M men's tennis. We'll be right back. And again, Coach Denton joined us on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you ever need like a metal building, a custom metal building from the ground up, go get more info at d4landservices.com, d4landservices.com.
You can get the podcasts of Texans Live, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard at zone1150.com, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. What's to come? What's next? Well, in 15 minutes, I'm going to open up the ticket booth. That is thanks to Dixie Tire Company. If you're new to Bryan College Station, hi, hello, and welcome. If you're new to the Louie Bellina Show, hi, hello, and welcome. The ticket booth is where you win tickets to all the places you want to be, like Chili Fest. And coming up, about 15 minutes, 12:35-ish, the ticket booth will open, and the ticket booth is thanks to Dixie Tire Company. They've been serving Bryan College Station, 36, or is it 37 years? They're located 301 West William Joel Bryant Parkway. That's in historic downtown Bryan, across from the fire station. Dixie Tire Company is open Monday through Friday till 6 and Saturday till 1, but I don't know how many people remember this, but you could call them. Yeah. That device that you're always scrolling your videos and everything is a phone, and you could talk to people on it. Hey, Jeanette, you know that you could talk to people on your phone, right? It's not just a device to use to send words to people or like videos, right?
It's not popular anymore.
I'm aware of that.
I talk for a little.
Jeanette is of a category of human that she knows that phones were used to talk on at one time, even though that was in a time a long, long time ago, right?
Yes.
Did you ever talk on a phone?
A lot. I had the long cord, and you'd lay on the floor in the next room.
Okay, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have one of these devices called a phone hanging like on a wall in a place that you lived in? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, did you?
My parents actually bought an old payphone and made it work.
That's actually really cool.
It didn't cost me money, but they probably should have to keep me off of it.
That would have been a way to train the kids well, and not the quarter a call, but it was like $1. That would have been impossible. You couldn't afford it as a kid. And then it teaches the value of money.
I'm nodding. Y'all can't see that.
it teaches the value of money to kids. So you remember when phones were in homes and on walls and stuff.
100%.
There's a whole group of people that are hanging out with us right now here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Have no idea why there would be someone taking a cell phone and nailing it to the wall. They don't understand. No. Phones were on walls. They weren't in your pockets. But that's a whole different conversation.
I'm nodding again. Sorry.
Yeah, that's just the world we live in. Okay, thank you, Jeanette. I just, I wasn't sure which world you grew up in, but you remember when phones were on walls and not pockets.
100%.
Thank you. Anyway, listen in. I'm going to open up the ticket booth, give you a pair of 2-day. A pair means 2 tickets. 2-day means day 1, day 2. And you have to be 21 and over, and all Zone Bryan Broadcasting prize rules, they do apply. That's just how everything we do, everything we give away works here on the Louie Bellina Show. I want to jump into the rest of the world. Do I? No. Yes? No. I want to go to the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. There's some text messages. Bryce Jones, he's a barbecue pit master. He's a part of the Louie Bellina Show. Bryce Jones texted, positive thoughts only, exclamation, exclamation, hashtag positive Bryce. And he did that in relation to Logan Lee and I were hanging out. Buckyball, St. Mary's, beat the hell out of St. Mary's. Hey. So, and for Bryce Jones to say positive thoughts only is the most ironic, hilarious, bizarre thing of 2026 so far on the Louie Bellina Show. You can't buy a positive thought out of Bryce, but for Buckyball, NCAA tournament, beat the hell out of the Gales. I still haven't Googled what a Gale is. I will. I don't know, will I? No, that's one of the great mysteries. But thank you, Bryce, for the comedy portion of the Louie Bellina Show. Mike from Deer Park texted, and this is awesome. And he texted, it's a green happy St. Patrick's Day Aggies. So it's from Texas A&M. But I thought that was pretty phenomenal. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And it's a green as opposed to maroon. Green and white. I'm down with that. I have one more text message from Jim in Temple. And it just simply says, and it's another Buckyball St. Mary's, it would help A&M if the refs called 3 seconds in the lane. Saw the TU 7-foot guy in there 10 seconds at a time against us. It would help. They don't call 3 seconds in college basketball. I'm dead serious. I don't know if I've seen it called all year. And it happened, and because it doesn't get called, they can't. All players can. There is no 3 seconds. That is not a real NCAA rule. It's just not a thing. Sorry. Has anyone seen 3 seconds called this year? Do you remember a game, a moment? I don't think it's real. So thank you, Jim and Temple, Bryce Jones, and more. Mike from Deer Park, Rusty Burson. Anybody could text 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. The rest of the world of sports. Dallas Stars. Just give me 2 minutes. Don't freak out. It's not like Lou's talking hockey. Someone needs to call for help. He's in trouble. No. Dallas Stars, second place, West, clear. They're probably the best team since at least the Olympic break, if not before. And the Dallas Stars, I thought they were on the verge of doing something I thought was basically impossible. And that was catch the Lanch and make it the undisputed, not just since, but period for the season. They blew it when they played the Lanch heads up, missed an empty netter. And with a win last night and the Lanch off, they could have tied them. And they're playing Utah, who's a good, but not special in any way. 2-2, end to 2, and you lose like 6-3, giving up 4. I thought those days were behind us. 4 third period goals. And look, they've been playing so well. Nobody's perfect. It just, man, this is the last big week of the season. There's only like 16, 17 games, which is well over kind of like a month, but we're going to get to the point. You're locked where you're locked. No one's going to push to win it all. You don't need it. Difference in 1-2 is Garbaggio. It's not going to be worth it to tire players out down the stretch. And it's a 4-game week with back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday. This is kind of the last big week. 4 out of 16, 25% of the games left are this week, including Colorado, again, head-to-head on Wednesday. So, a stumble. Wrong team, wrong week, wrong time was not the way you wanted to start the week. At all, to be honest with you. You'll be at Colorado on Wednesday. Little frustrating. That's all. And it was like, no, come on, guys. Because one of the banes of mine, Louie Bellina, Dallas Stars fan, was these 3-goal periods where they just imploded. Second, third, usually, right? There's only one other period, so I really cheated and picked 2 out of 3, but you get the point. And we hadn't seen that. I thought it was dead and not so much. A couple of more text messages. Rob Meyer said, go Isles. I know, Rob. I know. Rob is a just New York Islanders fan. You know what? Hey, we all have flaws. That's his. JT5150. Phones were in booths. We'd have no Superman without phone booths. True. That's one of those realities. If we didn't have a phone booth, what would Superman do? he'd have nowhere to change. Phone booths is how we got superheroes. It just never would have happened without him. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. We're in the rest of the world of sports, right? Athlon Sports did one of those infographics that I love because it's like kids love crayons. I love infographics. Who hit the most road home runs in each ballpark? Who hit the most home runs in each ballpark? And this is for entertainment purposes. This will not give you insight into who is winning the World Series this upcoming year. This will not give you insight into the greatest player of all time. We're Ranger Astro fans. I mean, if you want to Google and cheat, that's fine. But question, who has hit the most home runs? This is road. So it's not like, oh, well, he played there 20 years. No. Who's hit the most road home runs in Globe Life Field history? And it does count Globe Life Park, Globe Life Field. So at the Texas Rangers Park. Who's hit the most home runs at the Rangers? And who's hit the most home runs at Daikin, Enron, Minute Maid? Has it had more names that I've just lost track because they've had so many names? There's more that stood out. This is entertainment, but man, I was obsessed with this. It's from, again, if you want to Google to answer me, cheat to answer that, whatever makes you happy. It can't be that bad. Thank you, Sheryl Crow. But still, who's been the road warrior home runs at the Rangers? Who's been the road warrior home runs at Houston? Things that caught my attention. Freddie Freeman is the home run king road at two different parks. He's at 19 at Chase Field and 17 at Citizens Bank Park. Jose Ramirez, road warrior, two different parks. He's at 15 at Kauffman Field, 23 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Stuff like that impresses me, maybe a little too easily. Aaron Judge, as you would imagine, two different fields. He's hitting 24 at Camden Yards. I think 24 is the most. No. I'm going to come back to that because the answer is so incredibly rock and roll. 24 is not the most by anyone on the road. The answer is 34. There's no one in a zip code. That's the all-time hell yeah. But Aaron Judge hit 24 at Camden Yards, Boston. He hit 24 at another park. Man, it's escaping me. But Aaron Judge, as you imagine, multiple road parks. He's went 24 plus. So there's like 3 players, maybe 4 that have their name on multiple road warrior parks. This is just fun. Like I said, I get entertained by the little things. Again, I'm giving you time to think if you even want to take a shot and guess. Who has hit the most home runs at, I say Rangers, Globe Life Field, Globe Life Park, and who's hit most home runs at the Astros, Daikin, Minute Maid, Entercon, that one. Anyone else miss Towles Hill? I can't say I missed it, but I did think it was cool at the time. But miss is the wrong word for me. By the way, the most ever road warrior at Seattle, which is currently T-Mobile, Mike Trout hit 34 dingers. And that's, 24 is like second. 34, Mike Trout, miss him. 34 dingers. I think Mike Trout has to be Joe Sheehan's most favoritist of all time by a mile, too. 34 dingers. So I need to take a timeout. When we come back, I'll share the most road home runs at Texas, the Rangers, and at Houston, and we'll stay with the rest of the world of sports. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Residential, Commercial, and Industrial Services. This is the Louie Bellina Show, Tuesday on the Zone.
The Yankees are ready to finish what they started. Bring the noise.
Bring the noise.
TexAgs Live has the coverage on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
It is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio here on the Zone. 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Support for you comes from Mark Sim at the Charles Schwab branch right here in College Station. Mark Sim is the Charles Schwab branch right here in College Station. And with Charles Schwab and Mark Sim, they offer a modern approach to wealth management. They have the financial planning to meet your specific needs, like why did you even call them? And Mark Sim, Charles Schwab, they have the flexibility to adapt as those needs change with time. And they're going to change in ways that you haven't imagined. You have no idea, but they've been there, done that. They have that experience. And so that means they're prepared and ready. You don't have to do the worry part. Learn more at schwab.com/College Station. It is time. I said 12:35-ish, and it's 12:38, so I think that's 3 ishes, right? Ish. Caller 5 now. That's on the D4 Land Services hotline. Caller 5, I'll give you a pair of tickets to go to Chili Fest. They're a pair of 2-day passes. You must be 21 and older to win. And all Zone Brian Broadcasting prize eligibility rules apply. Every day this week, and here's the brilliant thing about this. I'm a rocket scientist. Call me Norman Einstein. Thursday and Friday, there is no Louie Bellina show because we have the NCAA tournament from Westwood One all day long. So we're going to have to double up. Tomorrow is going to be a very Chili Fest win tickets kind of day because there's no Thursday, Friday. But right now, caller 5, 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. The ticket booth is open thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Call now. Good luck. Thank you, Dixie Tire Company. I had a question on the table. I love some of these answers because Athlon Sports revealed the list of who's hit the most road home runs in each ballpark. And I asked you, who's hit the most at the Rangers? Different names, right? And who's hit the most at the, not Astrodome, but Daikin, Enron, Globe Life? We had Anonymous, Ranger Stadium, Altuve. Phenomenal guess, completely on the right track. Phenomenal guess, completely on the right track. No, but that's exactly who I think I would have guessed. Here is the guess for Houston, and I think it's 99%, if not 100%. Everybody has said Albert Pujols for road at Houston. Again, Enron, Minute Maid, Daikin Park. Everyone. It's got to be 100. There might be one total text, one guess that does not say Albert Pujols. Now, if the question was who's hit the ball the hardest, who's hit the most heartbreaking home runs, Adolis Garcia would be second place, by the way, on that most heartbreaking. But what was the joke about that one that Pujols hit, like in the, was it the NLCS? And like even the Astros joked about it, that they were taking a road trip after the game and they saw that ball still flying or something. I mean, not Pujols, even though who's hit the longest home run ever against the Astros? It has to be Albert Pujols. He hit a ball that still hasn't landed 20 years, 30 years later. I mean, okay, so here are the correct answers. In Globe Life Field Park International House of America's pancake history, Yordan Alvarez has hit 12. That's the most by any visitor, road home runs. Yordan Alvarez has hit 12. Imagine if Yordan was healthy. He'd have probably hit 40 by now. But it's Yordan Alvarez. So Altuve was the answer. So thinking Astro completely had you on the right track, but it's Yordan Alvarez. For Daikin, Minute Maid, Enron, the correct answer, I never would have got this. I always play along. I always guess first myself before, bringing these out to the universe. But Marcus Semien, yeah. I would have guessed Adolis Garcia. He's hit the most heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, stab me in the neck home runs. I'm an Astros fan. Nope. Marcus Semien's hit 16 bombs as the king of the road in Houston, Daikin, Minute Maid, and Enron. 16 bombs. I would never have guessed him. So those are your just for entertainment purposes only, you know? But again, I'm telling you, I'm looking like Robert the Longhorn fan, anonymous. Cardinal John, you know, you don't have to rub it in because he's mentioning how Albert Pujols, he did not just torture the Houston Astros. He did torture the Chicago Cubs too. And I'm a Cubs-Astros fan. I bleed hard with both. And people are like, how could you be a fan of both? I mean, I don't know how can I not? I mean, I love both teams. I worship both teams. Cut me in, you know, I bleed Cubs and Astros. Even that's weird. How do you bleed them? But yeah, I love both teams. I'm very passionate about both. And I was joking with someone the other, worker here at the radio station, Brian Broadcasting, showed up wearing a St. Louis Cardinals jersey. If you want me to be the bull that sees red, it's very hard to, a Longhorn jersey and a St. Louis Cardinals jersey. I don't know of anything else that can, you know, put my motor in red from 0 to, you know, in less than a second. Because the Cardinals, hey, what team do Astros and the Cubs hate above all else? Cardinals are hated by both. So for me, that's a double what the chuck kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, Albert Pujols. Albert bleeping Pujols. By the way, how many Astros fans remember George Springer? He's hit the most road home runs in Angel Stadium with 15. Didn't see that coming either. We move on, but we're going to actually stay MLB for just a little bit. What I'm about to say should shock no Astros fan. Top storyline as opening day approaches is, I would ask for a drum roll, but I don't have one. Injuries. Josh Hader, not going to be ready. We're 10 days away from opening day. Josh Hader, going to miss the opener. I mean, he reported to spring training with a biceps injury. Jeremy Pena, not going to be ready. Not long term, but magically, if you're a Houston Astros player, how does every injury end up being long term? Even the ones that aren't long term. So, the key to Astros 2026, a team that could win the West by 10 games, a team that could, you know, make a little noise in the playoffs. The whole key was health, and they start the year without their closer and one of their top 3 in the batting order. There you go. So here's what the projected opening day lineup should look like. Altuve leads off. Paredes now has a spot with the injury to Pena. He'll bat second. Yordan Alvarez will DH, bat third. Carlos Correa is your cleanup. Yanier Diaz will bat fifth. Christian Walker bats sixth. And I pointed this out before. There's no universe that I know of that the bottom 3 in the order is supposed to be your outfield. That's a sign of you might have the worst outfield in the history of baseball, is when your bottom 3 is your outfield. Cam Smith, 7. Loperfido, 8. And Jake Myers, 9. You might be like, no. That's just a sign of how great their outfield is. No, your outfield should never bat 7, 8, 9. That's the Astros offensive lineman. It's not horrible. It's just not necessarily good either. You don't have a true 4. You don't have a true 1. Question mark at 5. I don't know if that's the power you expect at 6 unless Christian Walker has a huge bounce back year, to be fair. It's all in their pitching. And you start with the closer hurt, which automatically sets your bullpen unaligned. Rough. But that's an obvious statement. Over on the Texas Rangers side of thing, all their camp news is really optimistic. Talking about the health of Evan Carter. So they think he's ready just to not even break out, but be the player they thought he'd be, which is a really high standard. I mean, they expect him to be a top player. And he looks healthy, and they're bragging about his health. It was announced that Nathan Eovaldi is going to be the opening day starter, and they want to set up Jacob deGrom to be the home opening day starter, the Rangers home opener, because the Rangers are going to start out on the road. So that seems to be the plan. But Nathan Eovaldi is going to get the opening day start for the Texas Rangers. He went 11-3, went 130 innings, which is why he didn't qualify for the MLB ERA leader crown. But still doesn't matter. I even saw, I think it was The Athletic that did it. All starts to blur. The one breakout player for every team. And Evan Carter, 2020 second round pick, made his major league debut September 2023. Became a key bat in their World Series year. Past 2 years, injuries. Just injuries. But healthy. Quote, arguably the best physical shape of his career. So they're very excited. That's all they wanted to see was a healthy Evan Carter. I took a look. CBS Sports did the top 100 players in Major League Baseball for the upcoming year. Astros, Rangers. And Nathan Eovaldi popped up at number 64, opening day starter. Jeremy Pena, IL to start the year for the Astros, is 50. Wyatt Langford for the Rangers is 49. Jacob deGrom, Rangers, 41. Yeah, Bregman's not either, but he'll always have a spot in my heart. He's a Cub, so that counts for me. He's at 39. Hunter Brown is at 37, and I think that is absolute horse-pucky garbaggio ranking. Hunter Brown is a top 20 player in MLB. He's a Cy Young top 3, top 5, no worse than. I'm sorry. You talk about sleeping on. Hunter Brown at 37 is just garbage. And then Yordan Alvarez pops up at 22. A, no Astro Ranger in the top 20 even. B, how many of us Astro fans remember during the dynasty, you'd have 3 Astros in the top 10, kind of like 4 in the top 15, and that's the difference between World Series favorite and dynasty and a team that could win the West. When you used to have 3 in the top 10 or even 4 in the top 10 kind of thing, or at least 4 in the top 20 and 0. And that's currently how it goes. And no Astro Ranger in the top 20 at all. At least that's to start the year expectation projection. I'll take a timeout. I'll come back. We got to wrap up our lunch hour. And lunchtime on the Louie Bellina Show. I should be able to say that. That's my name. Lunchtime on the Louie Bellina Show is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, the home of the green chili stew.
Your home for the Houston Astros is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. Down the stretch we come on the, lunchtime hour. Lunchtime thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. The Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, residential, commercial, and industrial services. Well, that's what they do at CC Electric. Here's the blueprint. Coming up at 1 o'clock, should be straight up. Mike Elko, spring football kickoff media day press conference. We're going to listen live together, you and I. The coordinators speak after, and we'll listen tomorrow. We'll hear what Hemphill and Higgins had to say. Kind of excited. First time we're really going to get to hear them in this kind of format. It's the kickoff of spring football. Mike Elko live at 1 o'clock. At 1:50, United Way of the Brazos Valley. It's called the Community Spotlight. It's every Tuesday at 1:50. So that is all still ahead here on the Louie Bellina Show, live inside the Charles Schwab studio. Something I wanted to share with you. I mean, we all know it's St. Patrick's Day. Brian Broadcasting, we love to have fun. And Brian Broadcasting is the Zone radio station, Peace radio station, Candy 95, News Talk 1620, 94.5 WTAW, La Jefa, Willie Maverick. We got like 8 radio stations. We have a lot of people over here that love to play and have fun. St. Patrick's Day is our kind of holiday. Candy 95 was out at O'Bannon's on Saturday. I know there's a lot of people out there. I saw them. And I show up this morning, and in the kitchen, there's this taste test in between Guinness flavored potato chips and Reuben sandwich flavored potato chips. Also this morning, in the kitchen here, Brian Broadcasting radio station, to find out what your St. Patrick's Day name was. And I wish I could share the whole chart with you. But it was like, take the last letter of your first name. And then there was this chart to find out what your first name is based on the last letter of your first name. And then the first letter of your last name. And then there's a second chart. And my St. Patrick's Day name is so brilliant that if this is my everyday name, I'd have had no trouble with it. I would have gone by this gladly. But my St. Patrick's Day name ended up being Whispers McTavern. And I I asked Ben Downs, legendary manager, fearless leader of Ryan Broadcasting, can I just change my name? Can it be the Whispers McTavern show? Presented by CC Electric. He wouldn't answer me. He kept looking at me like I was a complete idiot, but I just thought that was normal. That's how he always looks at me when I have these ideas. But my St. Patrick's Day name, using the undisputed St. Patrick's Day code guide, Whispers McTavern. And again, I'd go by that. I'd change it. I'd make my business cards. Whispers McTavern, sports talk show host. Brilliant, brilliant name. We are big St. Patrick's Day fans here at The Zone and Brian Broadcasting.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7. Thanks to our Aggie broadcast sponsors who make it happen. Amarillo National Bank, locally owned, family strong, and here to stay. Schulte Roofing, home of the bulletproof roof guarantee. And Rudy's Barbecue, real Texas barbecue. Listen to the games on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.